What are you doing with MPE MIDI? If you don't already know, the short of it is MPE MIDI is a protocol that assigns every note you play to a different MIDI channel in order to allow for more expression. Basically, it's like this. Now, this has been a pretty exciting time for many of us because it means we can now use our sweet sample libraries, physical model instruments, and more to make more realistic acoustic sounds, right? What's more is the possibility to be even more expressive with synthesizers and percussion. But you know, we really have a large world of sounds to still explore. Just think many years ago when the electric guitar was still a recent innovation. Most people were still dealing with modifying their technique or coming up with a new playing style or just finding something that they could now do that they couldn't before thanks to all the gear. Really, now we're experiencing the same thing, but just with MPE. You're probably thinking, okay, so that's cool, but I mean, who's using this anyways? So that's what I actually wanted to bring up today. It seems, to me at least, a lot of studio musicians and solo musicians are taking advantage of this, doing some great recordings, some instrumentals, even soundtracks. But it really seems that the MPE technology, like basically the Rolly Seaboard, the Linstrument, Hacking Continuum, and so on, are still very much in the early adoption process. And sure, while the price point of some of these items can limit the number of people that can get their hands on this, it does seem like more and more companies are getting interested into this kind of technology after seeing the success of Rolly. Not to mention, Rolly just released a $200 MPE controller. That one's called the Blocks. If you haven't heard of it, it'll be right here. So, you know, with some healthy competition in time, we will see more of these products popping up, but you know, the technology using it is not that easy. In order to use these instruments effectively, you will need a proper multi-timbral synthesizer or sound module, not to mention that it helps to have a DAW that actually supports MPE natively. Whoa! Okay, cool, there's a new update. I wonder if it actually comes with MPE compatibility this time. Therefore, the plug-and-play nature of these instruments can be a little bit tedious with the setup, since you will have to do some MIDI remapping of control changes or CCs in order to use your old favorite synthesizer, whether it's hardware or software. It should be interesting though, seeing how software companies will start adopting this and providing proper native support for these applications as time goes by. But in the meantime, how do you or would you use MPE controllers? The main two ways I see people performing with these kinds of instruments are through some kind of imitative acoustic style of playing, whether it's monophonic or polyphonic. The other is an extended electronic style of playing. So this can be with software synthesizers that maybe use like an analog modeling, frequency modulation, sampling synthesis, and all that kind of stuff. But I haven't encountered many examples of people playing percussion on these kinds of instruments, so that's something I still have to play around with. But maybe let me know if you have in the comments. Overall, based on the content I've come across on YouTube and on the internet, there's definitely a fantastic and a healthy amount of great performances with the MPE instruments, whether it's a Linstrument or the Hacking Continuum or the Rollies. There's definitely some pretty inspiring stuff out there. There's so many styles to explore that people have already tried and kind of played with, but you know, I still think there's new ground to be broken there with so much of the possibilities. You know, after all, we have at least 4 to 5 dimensions depending on which kind of instrument you go for here. Personally, I really enjoyed playing a more kind of imitative acoustic style of playing, you know, for kind of the soundtrack work that I do. Whenever I've had to record string sounds, any cello, any violins, anything like that, that requires real expression that, you know, you can't normally find in some kind of sample library. That's what I go for on the Seaboard. I love playing around with it and just doing some kind of synth pad work and stuff, but I still have so much exploring to do even after a whole year. So for now, I do think we're still transitioning and really just waiting for some hardware or software updates to allow more compatibility with the MPE protocol and some of our old favorite instruments, you know, just to have a better experience with the setup. So that's it for me. Hopefully you found this a little bit entertaining and informative. So I'll be around making some more videos. Feel free to leave some questions in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts on MPE MIDI are. Maybe you've experimented already with them. So let me know. Also, if you know any artists that have been using these instruments actively in the studio or on stage, maybe if they have recordings, leave that name in the comments. I'll definitely be checking them out. Have a good one. Don't forget to make some music after this video.